Hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 3 here on HeflaTV 2. Well, this is going to be game 2 of our best of 2 series between Top 5 and Boreal Esports. Top 5 were able to take game 1. In the end, they were just able to split push, although their Nature's Prophet had a very peculiar build that ended up working out for them. And they had pretty much 4 farmed cores, whereas Boreal Esports didn't have really that much to contest against that. They only had 2 in comparison. So at the end of the day, we're now into game 2, and well, these bands are looking pretty darn familiar.
Yeah, I think we've seen this one before, just maybe, but Boreal Esports, I think a large part of what went wrong in their last game was that they had a pretty clear-cut strategy in that they were going to push with the Venomancer and the Death Prophet, and then just have, general bulkiness in the Razor Death Prophet in order to carry them throughout those pushes. They got brick-walled by the Tinker, though, and they just couldn't execute their strategy, and really, they didn't even try to execute their strategy. Like, there were 3 or 4 exorcisms being used, committed purely to the Nature's Prophet, and that just wasn't good enough. That means they couldn't take down, I don't think, a single tier 2 tower that game. They might have taken one by the end, but they couldn't get their strategy off the ground, and then top 5, they just slowly took all the map away from Boreal Esports and then rode that to victory. But this game we're going to be seeing something completely different because top 5, they are looking to win team fights. Black Hole and Ravage all day.
Yeah, I don't know, it should be lots of fun to watch, but as far as Boreal Esports are concerned, they go for the first pick Nature's Prophet. And I don't think it'll be played the same as it was last game, but this is definitely looking pretty familiar.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet, though, if they do decide to go for a really large pushing comp, you have to always respect the possibility of Ravage just completely destroying you. But Boreal make a really smart pick here. They forego the quote-unquote powerful support heroes of Shadow Shaman, Earthshaker, Skywrath Mage, and instead go for a Rubik. If you could steal a Black Hole or Ravage, then you're going to be really happy.
Yeah, I don't know. When you say powerful supports, there's very little more powerful than a Rubik when he gets his hands on an Enigma Black Hole or a Tidehunter Ravage, especially if he has a Blink Dagger available. That can be absolutely huge. So I definitely like this, not really change of pace, but decision by Boreal Esports to take up the Rubik. A lot of teams that I've seen don't do it when you're up against these huge teamfight openers like Enigma and Tidehunter, and I think it's a little bit of a mistake. I think it's kind of just too good to pass up if you have a good Rubik player.
To be fair, oftentimes Tidehunter and Enigma aren't seen as the first 2 picks, so teams ban out the Rubik in preparation for a later Tidehunter or Enigma pickup, so Rubik doesn't really have any chances. But this is one of the few times when Rubik does have a chance, and it's really nice to see Boreal Esports jumping on that chance. Also, the ban from top 5 and the silencer is going to be really nice, so top 5, they're going all in, it looks like, on this big AoE teamfight strategy. Faceless Void, though, is out of the pool. They could still pick up something like an Earthshaker to support them, which would contribute a good amount of AoE.
Not sure if they even need it, to be honest. Like, with a Tidehunter Enigma, whenever you have one of those 2 ultimates, you're going to be winning a team fight. Instead, because of the, I don't know, deviation as far as bans are concerned, Shadow Shaman manages to weasel his way into the pool, and he'll be the pickup for top 5. They have a very easy Roshan if they decide to go for an early Medallion on the Enigma and get a level 6 on the Shadow Shaman pretty early on. That could be an option for top 5, but then again, we're probably just going to see the standard lanes and, I don't know, probably the standard build coming out for Enigma as well. Just get that mechanism for his team, and then Shadow Shaman just going to offer the zoning in the early stages, the single target lockdown, as well as the push coming out from the wards.
And Boreal, they're going to go for Brewmaster, so they're going to, I think, pseudo ban this one away from top 5. If the top 5 squad got their hands on the Brewmaster, then the team fight would have been nigh unwinnable for Boreal. But taking that one for themselves is a great hero to have versus the Ravage. You don't really get impacted that much if you're the Brewmaster. Black Hole, not as much, but if you are caught outside the Black Hole, you have 2 tools in order to cancel that and for your teammates, both in the Rock and in the Cyclone up. So Brewmaster, a very nice pickup for Boreal. It also gives them a little bit of initiation onto the front lines. The top 5, they do have a good amount of pushing with the Enigma and Shadow Shaman. So Boreal, since they do have some initiation now, they'll be a little bit more comfortable moving forward.
For sure, but top 5 pick up the Invoker. Right now, the dream combo coming out is probably like a Blink Tidehunter Ravage with Enigma, getting the Black Hole on top of that, and then you finish it off with the Deafening Blast and Meteor combo and just absolutely obliterate the full 5-man team. I don't know, he's going to offer a lot of damage for top 5's team fight, as well as their pickups in lane. Like, if you're able to get a Shackles off on somebody, that's a pretty easy kill if you're able to line up the Sunstrike and have a little bit more damage on the top.
Yeah, I'd like to see Boreal try to get a little bit more lane control. Nature's Prophet is okay. Brewmaster versus Invoker is also okay, but they need to really lock down that safe lane. Whoever's going to be going with the Shadow Shaman, most likely on top lane for top five, it's gonna be Shadow Shaman, Enigma, and then whatever other core. I'd like to see Boreal try really hard to stop that because if they sit back and let this top five team get this team fight together, Blink Daggers and mechanisms for top five are going to be huge. And Boreal, at a certain point, they just won't be able to fight up against that unless they themselves have a lot going for them. And as it stands right now, Nature's Prophet can only do so much against that much AoE.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if top 5 send the Invoker towards the safe lane as well with the Shadow Shaman and instead pick up something for the mid, potentially more tempo controller hero or one that doesn't get hit as hard by the Brewmaster in lane. But we'll have to see.
Like a Viper.
Like a Viper.
Yeah, I would love to see Viper being picked up for, well, actually, for both sides. Viper would be a pretty solid pickup. It's a nice hero to anchor your team to, very tanky on the front lines, and could also put out a lot of damage when push comes to shove. Though he doesn't have the clearing to deal with Eidolons from the Enigma, that's okay because you'll just be able to, tank that up and be comfortable just bypassing that. But it's going to be a support for Boreal. It's going to be the Earthshaker. So Rubik Shaker is going to be the support duo for Boreal. Some okay roam, though, definitely not S plus top tier.
Yeah. Well, as far as top 5, also what they could do with a Viper pickup of their own, they could end up building the mechanism on the Viper, which would free up Enigma to get the BKB really early on, and currently Boreal don't have any way to cancel that, and Tidehunter could get an early blink, instead of having to back off for the mechanism for his team. I think that would be really solid for top 5. It would just make their team fight a lot scarier.
But top 5, they ban out the Tinker. I don't think they want to go for any more push than this already. They have Eidolons, Forge Spirits, and the Shadow Shaman wards, but they can go for just another really heavy pushing hero if they do want to go towards that, but it's going to be a Storm Spirit, so they themselves are going to get a little bit of initiation to start off the team fights, set up a little bit of chaos so that Tidehunter and Enigma have a little bit of an easier time in getting in there with their big ultimates. I don't mind this pick that much, though it is definitely counterable by Boreal. Storm Spirit versus Brewmaster is slightly favored in the Brewmaster in the early stages.
Yeah. Despite his laning stage, I'm quite liking how the Storm Spirit fits in towards the mid-game. Catching out the Nature's Prophet around the map, he's quite possibly one of the, if not the best heroes at doing so, rivaled by Clockwork. Also, a natural Orchid carry up against the Brewmaster is going to be very useful for top 5, but the trick is whether or not he'll be able to get what he needs to out of the lane. We might see Invoker taking up the mid position up against the Brew, and that'll leave Storm up top with the Shadow Shaman. I don't know, I think those heroes, at least as far as the lanes are concerned, are pretty interchangeable this game.
Yeah, it really won't make that much of a difference, though. With this final pick of Boreal, if they do want to run an aggressive tri-lane with the Earthshaker Rubik, whoever they want to pick up now, it can slightly influence what top 5 are going to want to do, because top lane, for the most part, it's going to be Shadow Shaman and one other hero. Enigma is going to be mostly concerning himself with the jungle, and Morphling is going to be the pick for Boreal. It's a pretty deadly tri-lane right now, so I don't really know what top 5 are going to want to lane against this. Maybe they just want to put the Tidehunter there and say, good luck, Tide, get what you can.
I think that's more or less going to be what they end up doing. Outside of laning stage, I'm not the biggest fan of this Morphling pick, but if he's able to get off of the ground early on, Shadow Shaman as well as Enigma are fairly easy pickoffs, but if the Enigma does get an early BKB, you're kind of limited to just hunting the Shadow Shaman, and I don't know. It could be useful, but he's not going to offer that much as far as wave clear, with the exception of waveform early on.
All right, guys, so this is game number 2, and we are in the game. Let's go over who's playing what. We have on the Boreal side, Monkeys Forever playing the mid lane Brewmaster with a Salve Stout Shield. Usually it's a little bit of tangos, but you'll get his tangos regardless. Frollo is going to be supporting as the Rubik, as will the Earthshaker being played by Jaw. The Big Bad Bird is going to be playing for Boreal this game, and he's going to be handling that Morphling, and that leaves Jolly Joker to handle the Nature's Prophet. He'll be soloing bottom.
And on the side of top 5, the team that was able to win out in game 1, we're going to have NR77 playing on the Invoker in the mid lane. Stormspirit going to be taking up the safe lane, played by Fly. He'll be supported by the Shadow Shaman, played by Fly is my son. So, touching reunion in the top lane as Enigma is going to be taking up the jungle, played by Whatever. Interestingly enough, he was playing the safe lane farmer last game, or something along that lines, as the Wraith King was taking a farm for quite a lot of that. And that will leave, last but not least, our Tidehunter, played by Legendary, I think is his name. Potentially Legendary.
I think he's just Tidehunter. That seems fine to me.
I mean, yeah, as someone who speaks not a single word of Mandarin, well, actually, I take that back. I speak like two. But in the end, no way I'm going to be able to read that.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, no. Just no. This is going to be a strictly English cast, guys. If someone does have a perfectly literal translation, then we'll lay it on us. But until that happens, we are going to be continuing on in the English language. This top lane for top 5 is not going to be that fun. Storm Spirit doesn't have a whole lot of range, and if he gets caught with a fissure or a levitate, or ideally both for Boreal, then a waveform forward and Shadow Shaman support or not, this Storm Spirit is going to drop like a rock.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how he's actually going to be able to get anything. And for now, he's not even going to show himself in lane. He's going to stack up some camps.
This is a way to go if you're Storm Spirit. If you're playing a pub, don't call Storm Spirit jungle. Everyone will be mad at you. But as a contingency plan, it's not too terrible, though he only has 1 clarity. He wasn't going to be able to get anything anyway out of this top lane, so it's kind of understandable. And Fly as My Son is going to get some experience at the very least, just sitting really far back and leeching. But as it stands right now, Boreal have pretty much won this top lane, and they're going to have to force 2 heroes from the top 5 side into the jungle. It's a very minor win, but as long as they secure farm for this Morphling, they're going to be happy with how that is going. In the meantime, bottom lane, Tidehunter versus Nature's Prophet. It should be relatively safe for both these heroes. I don't see either of these two dying until the Tidehunter gets to his level 6 mark, or unless he gets the Nature's Prophet really low through gushes or anchor smashes somehow, and then a Sunstrike comes in. But this bottom lane should be pretty tame.
Yeah, I don't know for now. Fly has managed to find himself level 2. Is going to be forced back to base after jungling for a little bit and is actually losing out in experience against the Shadow Shaman just by a tad. But Fly as My Son isn't going to be able to get much out of this lane. For now, they might end up just leaving the Morphling solo after sitting around him for a little bit longer and potentially get a kill on the Invoker. Probably once the first night comes, or if they get a lucky 2-minute rune for Jaw. It will be a regeneration, which is pretty useless, but we'll sit on that, presumably, for monkeys. He does have the bottle flying out to himself, and for now they'll just leave it there as Jaw sits in mid and going to defend this rune.
They could very easily continue to dominate this top lane with just 2 heroes. I don't know if the Morphling can do it all by himself, since if that happens, the Storm Spirit is instantly going to show up back in the lane, and then it's 2v1, and Morphling, though he is survivable, is not invulnerable. They're looking for an Arcevi in the mid lane. This Earthshaker is not, or he was definitely spotted by the Dire, so the Invoker should not be caught off guard by this one. But in the meantime, Rolo, as well as the Big Bad Bird, they're just happily farming this lane, and top 5, they have a level 2 Storm Spirit, level 2, almost level 3 Shadow Shaman, but they're up against a level 3 Morphling, and Fly is now revealed. Waveform forward can be devastating, but he's going to wait for the Earthshaker to make his rotation. This is completely spotted out, though, by the top 5 side. In the meantime, bottom lane, Jolly Joker is going to have to deal with a lot of units messing with him. Eidolons are in the area, drawing off the creep wave, and, well, at the drop of a hat, Tidehunter Enigma can go for this dive on Jolly Joker, so he's probably going to want to save his teleportation, because it looks like he's going to want to use it soon.
Yeah, they don't have the best ways to cancel the TP, but Malphus definitely could interrupt that. And actually 2 points in Malphus coming out from the Enigma, kind of interesting. But Jolly Joker is just going to straight up TP, be just fine. Yeah, for now, they'll put a little bit of pressure onto this Tyranitar. Not sure if they'll be able to take it, but if Nature's Prophet leaves them in lane for a little bit too long, they definitely can.
Unfortunately, the Enigma has a Sage's Mask, not a Ring of Basilius. That certainly would have helped them quite a bit in taking this tower down. And whatever's actually taking some one too many tower hits, he's going to make a couple more conversions, but Enigma's at only about 100 HP. Jolly Joker is going to jump right back in for a Sprout onto the Tidehunter, doing next to no damage. He's going to summon a whole bunch of treants and try to get a kill on his Tidehunter, but he's going to put himself in Anchor Smash range, so just getting hit with more damage. Teleportation from Rolo, though, going to get a lift back on the Tidehunter. I still don't think they could get this kill. He's way too tanky. They get a Sprout on him, but Nature's Prophet gets hit with an Anchor Smash, and Rubik, inherently a low damage hero. Unless they get a perfect block here, this Tidehunter is going to walk on out. The block is okay, but Tidehunter is still a really tanky hero. 3 points in Kraken Shell. Rubik's doing like 20 damage a shot. That's not enough to kill off a Tide.
And whenever they were doing, got Anchor Smash, they were doing literally nothing to the Tidehunter. You just didn't care. Just walk that one straight off. Unfortunately for the Enigma, he lost all of his Eidolons under that tower, so not going to be able to get much farm out of that. And he'll have the completed Soul Ring, but his farm is nothing to write home about at 13 CS here at about 4.5 minutes in.
Still keeping my eyes on the top lane. The Earthshaker is circling around, and if he gets a nice fissure onto Fly, that could be a very easy kill on the Storm Spirit. Though Fly as My Son is also in the area. Boreal should have the Nature's Prophet teleporting in with phase boots to support. So this top lane is in a very delicate situation, and we've been, for the most part, ignoring mid lane. Monkeys Forever is having the time of his life, honestly. He's spamming out the Drunken Haze very liberally onto NR Sevi. So Monkeys Forever is sitting at a pretty nice kill creep score advantage. And now he has level 6, so he can feasibly go for kills on this Invoker now.
Especially if they have like one support rotation, like a Fissure, and the ultimate coming out for Monkeys definitely would make killing off this Invoker very easy, especially with no points into the Wex. Although they don't know it for sure, it's probably pretty easy to extrapolate.
Yeah, having a Wex Invoker would usually reveal itself by now in that he would have casted Alacrity. But we have whatever. Moving around to the secret shop area, we'll have his smoke dispelled, so he knows that the Earthshaker is around. Sneaky, sneaky Enigma. Looks like he will be unscouted, although Jaw is still in the area. Enigma might have been spotted by the courier, but he's still wrapping around for this one. I don't even think they could get a kill to happen. This is the Enigma overextending in a big way. If he gets walled out, he might just go down here. Jaw's looking for a Fissure, and where is it? He's going to get stunned. There's the Fissure. Waveform forward, only level 2, but Jolly Joker is going to teleport in as well. Whatever. He's going to voluntarily feed himself on a silver platter to Jolly Joker. I don't understand.
I'm not impressed by his Enigma play all around. Like, the push on bottom was okay, but he ended up sacrificing a lot for very little. I mean, they dropped it low and with the Nature's Prophet off of lane, but I don't know. It just hasn't really done it for me. He's not getting farm in the jungle, he's not getting kills with the 2 points into Malphus, and yeah, his time would be better served, especially if you're just going to walk straight up into 3, or rather into 2 with Nature's Prophet TP support.
Also, the Brewmaster tried to get the bottom lane rune, but Top 5 very graciously let Monkeys Forever live. They could have Ravaged Sunstruck him, and that would have been a very easy kill, but I guess they just didn't want to play the are you going to split guessing game, and well, they let the Brewmaster survive, and he does salve up for now, so could have been a very nice kill for Top 5, seeing as though their Invoker is falling pretty far behind this Brewmaster, so a kill would have equalized this lane in a big way, but unfortunately not going to happen, as, well, the Enigma wants to get, oh, that's not the Enigma, Tidehunter, never mind. Yeah, the Enigma needs to be getting something done, whether it's farm or ganks, he just can't be doing neither. As Top 5, they're going to converge onto this Morphling who really wants this last CS. There's the pullback and a Sunstrike, which is going to completely whiff. Here comes the Tidehunter, diving a tower like nobody's business, has a Ravage, wants to use it as well. Morphling's completely tapped out of mana and is doing literally no damage to this Tidehunter, but they just don't have enough follow-up for this. They might get this tower, but it's going to take them quite a long time.
And, well, we have a pause as well. That's unfortunate. Not sure who's disconnected. Potentially Skype? I don't know. Curious.
I didn't disconnect, and if it's a server issue, then I'm pretty sure I'd be the first one to drop, so servers seem fine.
Yeah, for now I have no idea what's going on. US East, I think.
Ping. I'm fine. 30, 0 packet loss.
How are the players doing? Oh, it looks like it's fine now. So I don't know. That was weird. Apparently, just really high ping.
All right. Well, let us never speak of that again because that didn't happen. Just a minor hiccup in this game, but still 4 heroes on the top lane for Top 5. They're gonna slowly work down this tower, and unfortunately for the Morphling, he made himself pretty strength heavy, so he can't really fight now. They do get a really nice 3-man fissure, and they might get a tower deny here. Let's see if they can time it correctly. Tower deny. Here we go. Challenge mode. Teleportation coming in the Rubik. Tower deny is not going to happen. They get a really long shackle, but Rolo does teleport in right into an Anchor Smash. Ravage wants to be used by this Tidehunter. Could catch 2 with it, but he's not going to. He's going to, I said, go for Jolly Joker as the trees up around Shadow Shaman. Waveform forward is going to give Jolly Joker a double kill in the end. Still, this Tidehunter refuses to use his Ravage. Come on, man. You're killing me here. Storm Spirit is going to get dropped by the Brewmaster in the meantime, who's well on his way. And there's the Ravage finally going to kill off the Jolly Joker, Nature's Prophet, with a Sunstrike to follow up. But they have a Brewmaster incoming. Still does have a split. Clap split opportunities here. Ravage was stolen. There's the split with no clap, actually. Didn't have the mana, but they're going to go straight into this Invoker. Should be an easy kill. Do they have a waveform? They don't, but it shouldn't matter. One more boulder toss is going to be canceled because of the vision. Now the Morphling is stuck in an awkward position. Will start strength morphing. The Brewmaster really wants to kill on the Invoker, but he's cross regenerating up. They do take out the Morphling in the meantime as Brewmaster does return back to his main form. He's at 2,800 gold, does buy up a Blink Dagger before his inevitable doom. Let's see how much damage he can put onto everyone before he goes down, because he's not escaping this.
Yeah, when you're caught in a corner against 4 enemy heroes, you have to be very stacked, and at this point in the game, Had Monkeys had a Blink Dagger, he would have been just fine. He had the gold to buy that, I believe, before the engagement, but in the end, just didn't have it in his inventory. Not the worst death for your Brewmaster, because he was able to buy the Blink before he died, but still, I think it was avoidable, or at the very least, just a little bit awkward how he split up his minions there. If he put the blue one as well as the red one onto the Invoker in the trees and backed out with the green one, he would have been just fine as well.
Well, either way, Boreal take a pretty nice fight in that trade. Is top 5, their Tidehunter, I want to say just a little bit too greedy in holding his Ravage. Like, he was looking for a 3-man Ravage, I want to say, the entire time. Ultimately, he settled for 2, and, well, as soon as he got that Ravage out, the Boreal side just collapsed, and, well, that also happens. He was just fighting neutrals, and then he died.
Okay. I don't even know. Well, the premature GG call is definitely a fake, but yeah, Fly is not having a good game. To put it lightly. His CS is lackluster, he's died twice, just not your Storm Spirit game. Mostly due to the lightning situation, but yeah, just unfortunate.
It's 10 minutes in and he doesn't have his ball lightning. If he had that, he could make something happen, but because he doesn't, he's pretty much forced to just do nothing this game, as Tidehunter's once again going to be worked down by Monkeys forever. Let's see if they have Nature's Prophet support. It looks like they don't. Well, Jolly Joker is going for the Null Talisman build as well. What is this, a freaking epidemic?
You got me. He went for Phase Boots instead of Treads as well. You got me. It's good damage. I like this better with the Phase Boots build. I don't know. He'll be able to be very active around the map and get some extra kills, but honestly, I have no idea what's going on. I'd have to read some pro analysis about this, but it's a cost-effective item, and I suppose you're going to have your stacks. At least this time he is going for the Orchid afterwards, and I think this makes a little bit more sense. Up against a Storm Spirit, having an extra silence is always nice, and if you're able to stop the Tidehunter Ravage or the Enigma Black Hole, that's also great. With Tidehunter, it's a little bit more awkward, as you can't focus him down, as Kraken Shell will take it off, but you can at least Orchid him and then leave him there.
Yeah, I like the scenario for this build a little bit more than last time. I mean, he is putting some pretty heavy pressure on the top 5 side, so you might as well get that early pressure item as Big Bird. Gonna try to take down the top tier 1 tower. He will make the smart and responsible move, and we'll just leave it be denied, although the catapult, it's not going to be denied. Here comes Roller from the side. Fly does have a lot of mana to ball lightning, and I think he's just going to be just fine. However, he's going to run straight into Jolly Joker. Wrath of Nature not available, and Fly's going to burn the rest of his mana pool to get out of there. In the meantime, Brewmaster here's a solo kill on the Shadow Shaman, who panic used his wards in the range of the tier 1 tower. This could be another denial attempt from top 5. If they get 2 tower denied, that'll be pretty huge for them.
I mean, I think he could just do it straight up with the Serpent Wards. He's not doing so now, potentially baiting them in. But I think 1 barrage from the Serpent Wards, yeah. It'll take 2, but in the end he does get the deny. As we have a Balthus going the way up. John, now with the Blink Clap onto whatever. They get the Black Hole, however, onto 3 with his dying breath. He's going to be able to catch them out, and Monkeys also, he's going to be cold snapped up. Whatever is going to die at the end of the day, but now they're going to also focus down on Monkeys with the Gush on him. He's not able to have his ultimate a second time, still coming off of cooldown, so I don't know. That cost him a lot of spells in order to get that trade, but it's still favorable for top 5, although slightly.
Yeah, they get a decent enough trade, but they're going to lose another tower up on top. Big Bad Bird should be fine, however. Storm Spirit Chain Stun might be enough. He's going to cut through all the trees, and Big Bad Bird needed to teleport straight away, but now I'm pretty sure he's just screwed. He's going to get chased down, and yes, Morphling will melt into a puddle. It's another kill for top 5, and well, looked for a short period in this game like they were just completely out of it, but they're certainly fighting back pretty hard. But NR Sevi in a little bit of trouble. He's fissured now into a very awkward position, but he should be just fine. He has Phase Boots, and he's going pretty quick.
Yeah. I don't know, this game is going to be the game of Orchids. As Invoker looks like he's picking one up for himself. Yeah, not sure if Storm Spirit will end up getting it as his next item. He's on the Null Talisman bandwagon. I don't know, it kind of makes sense for him as well, since he just doesn't have anything. If you don't have the gold to spend on anything bigger, I suppose getting Null Talisman is better than nothing and will help him farm a little bit. But yeah, it looks like Sevi is going to be taking up that silence to lock down the Morphling as well as the Brewmaster.
The Rubik is taking his sweet time getting back to the base because he's really scared of Sunstrikes, but fortunately for him, Invoker, he doesn't even have that invoked, so he's not even going to look to snipe out this Rubik, but he just took like the most broken detour of all time to get back to his base. It's just hilarious to me, but bottom lane in the meantime has been pushed by a couple of creeps. This could be potentially another tower deny as long as Fly doesn't put that much pressure back out on this lane. If he lets this push in naturally, then a third tower deny will be huge for the top 5 side. That'll be 3. And, well, that's about 3 more than you usually see, especially at this stage in the game. So Boreal really going to be hurting unless they get more kills. But as it stands right now, the last couple of fights haven't gone well for Boreal. So they're losing the towers and they're losing the fights.
Yeah, for now, if we take a look at the graphs, it's almost dead even as far as gold is concerned. Experience slightly in the favor of top 5 after the last couple of engagements, which actually surprises me by quite a bit. Storm Spirit's caught up admirably, and although the top of the graph or the top 3 farmers from Boreal are looking pretty good, the bottom 2 not so much. I think they have one pair of arcane boots between them. That's it, as they fissure up Nestor Sevi, and well, he gets cold snap onto the Morphling, and for now it's going to save his life. I don't know, he's going to hex him up as well from the low ground with another zip in. Looks like Big Bad Bird's the one who's getting caught out. The Sunstrike is going to be on the mark, but in the end it's not going to be enough as the Storm Spirit also dies. So they give up 2 the way of Boreal, and now Fly My Son is probably also going to die. The Fissure is not going to clip him, but the right clicks will be there, and Serpent Ward's stolen. That's a huge win for Boreal.
Yeah, it's the Serpent Ward stolen is just the cherry on the cake, because now they could go for a push. Even though I'm pretty sure they were going to go for a push anyway with the Nature's Call, now it's just like a free tier 2 tower. This tower has no chance in hell of surviving. They have a Ravage to worry about, they have a Black Hole and 12 seconds to worry about, but I don't think that's enough to kill out all these heroes, especially if Rubik just goes for it with Serpent Wards, which he should. To take down a tier 2 tower, it's certainly worth it. But he's not going to. He's going to hold on to it. He's doing a little bit of greedy action as Jaw does get a 2-man fissure. Instantly the split onto whatever. Has a black hole. Might be panicked into it, and it won't happen. He can't get it off. In the meantime, Serpent Wards have been deployed. NR Sevi can get lifted up into the air due to the Cyclone. There's a Ravage. Only hitting onto Jolly Joker, though, as the Storm Spirit does jump in. Echo Slam from Jaw is going to hit onto the Tidehunter only. Still, the Tidehunter is alive, as is the Storm Spirit, though he's completely tapped out of mana. Jaw will slip away just barely. Monkeys is forever. Going to jump forward for another clap. Perhaps Anchor Smash will just barely miss that Earthshaker. They get the clap on the Tidehunter. They're going to chase him down even further. But now the Shadow Shaman is back up. Monkeys forever has got to bail. He's going to get Anchor Smashed, and now I think it's another scenario where the Brewmaster has to fight for his life just to see how much damage he could do before he does go down, but he will in fact go down. They don't even take the tier 2 tower in the meantime. They deploy the wards very greedily, saving them. If they just dropped them as soon as they saw the tower, that would have been a tower going the way of Boreal, but now it's once again in danger of being denied.
I think if they just went for the, I don't know, Serpent Wards immediately and then sat on the backlines with the Earthshaker instead of aggressively jumping in with the Brew, I don't know, they just got caught out in a very awkward situation where they were able to get some kills, which is nice, but in the end, they're going to be punished for it. As well, their tier 1 tower not looking too healthy. It will be glyphed up, potential deny coming out, but I think that's all that could happen as they fissure up 2, and, well, Enigma picks himself up the last hit. They pull back the Tidehunter, but then just blinks away instantly.
Top 5 get themselves the 2nd tower of the game, as the Rubik has stolen Static Remnant. It's not the best skill to steal, however, it is a level 4 skill, so I guess you could do a lot worse if you're the Rubik, but still 13 for 9 in Boreal. They do have a kill advantage. Top 5 seemingly in control of this game. The last fight looked like it was going to be really bad for them, but hell, they managed to pull it out with Tidehunter getting a decent enough Ravage and Enigma dropping before he got the Black Hole. But at the end of the day, top 5, they all respond, and the damage from Boreal just simply wasn't there. The Morphling has gone for a very uncharacteristic Morphling build. In the Power Treads, Drum, and Yasha, I think would have thought in this game it would be for sure a Morphling, a Lincoln Sphere game.
Yeah, I don't know, I would think so as well, especially with the Blink Hex Initiation eventually coming out from the Shadow Shaman, as well as an Orchid from the Invoker. If you're not going to go for the Lincolns, I think it would be more just like BKB Ethereal Blade.
Yeah, this build is very rarely seen. Manta Style is great, drums are great on the Morphling, but usually there are better, bigger ticket items, so we'll see if this is going to work out for him. It does let him fight a little bit earlier, which is, I guess, something, but I don't know if that's worth getting, as top 5 do secure their first Roshan, and Invoker's going to grab the Aegis. Yeah. It's not without trade, as Nature's Prophet did get a tier 1 tower in bottom, but top 5 should be pretty happy with that. That tower is going to die one time or another when you're playing up against Nature's Prophet. So yeah, that's also going to be Orchid finished on the Invoker to match the one on the Prophet of Nature as they jump in mid. Look for an initiation from the Brewmaster. He's going to boulder up whatever with the Thunderclap on the Aghanim's already completed on him. He's going to throw up the Invoker in the air with the Purge going to bring her down eventually. He's going to be orked up, and now NR Sevi going to lose his Aegis almost instantly. Probably going to die another time. Thought they could have dropped him down a little bit quicker, but in the end, Nature's Prophet also falling fairly low to the backlines, mostly just as Sunstrike as they get a nice 3-man fissure. Nothing can really follow that up, however, as Rolo is getting chased down by Fly. He doesn't have enough mana to pull him back, however, oh, there you go, as he will be able to get the interrupt on the teleport. He'll drop a Fade Bolt, but in the end, not going to do much of anything else. So, for now, they're going to be forced to back off. A pretty good usage of the first Aghanim Scepter ultimate from the Brewmaster, annihilating the Enigma firsthand, and then going for the Invoker, not only for his first life, but also through that Aegis as well. He did ultimately ghost his way out of there, and Boreal, unfortunately, were caught without their True Sight. Rubik does have True Sight, but he was off to the side, kind of getting caught, so he was unable to drop those sentries, so they couldn't actually do it there, but I mean, I think that's fine for Boreal. They use their split and do pretty well, and still the net worth is pretty heavily in their favor. Still, the Earthshaker and Rubik are continuing to not get anything, but you don't really need these heroes to get that much. Maybe Blink Daggers eventually, but Shaker is still well on his way to his, sitting at 1,400 gold. If the Brewmaster, Morphling, and Nature's Prophet continue to farm, Boreal should be okay with this.
Yeah, I think they are too, despite having no lead at all. It looks like an EKG. On the gold graph, it's zeroed out pretty much. But yeah, as you said, it is the farm distribution on Boreal is going to be benefiting them, as they have some pretty big ticket items with the Blink Orchid on the Nature's Prophet, as well as the Aghanim Scepter on your Brewmaster. Really, Morphling's kind of the odd man out. He doesn't have any of those large items, although eventually he's going to pick up presumably a Mantis style and start hitting pretty hard.
Yeah, but that's gonna take a little bit more farm until that actually gets going. Because Mantis style though is great, especially on the Morphling, because the illusions work off of your agility. They're still not going to be hitting the hardest, especially since top 5 can very easily just crush them, like with static remnants or anything that the Invoker has, or if they get caught in a Ravage, something like that. So those illusions will be mostly a defensive tool, I want to say, because they're not going to last long enough to be offensive. As Rolo in a little bit of trouble, he will fade bolt through everyone, but here's the Storm Spirit, will get the jump onto Rolo. Lots of mischance, but the Ravage onto 2 will instantly kill off the Rubik, and now Monkeys Forever caught in the black hole. They're taking no chances with this one. They're going to chain stun him perfectly and kill off this Brewmaster who's coming into the Morphling. Don't think you want to be doing that, as they are forced now to lose their tier 2 tower. Off these 2 kills, the top 5 might even want to go for more.
They've used a lot of their big ticket spells in the form of the Black Hole and Titan or Ravage in order to do that. But yeah, for now, they're going to put a little pressure with all of the summons. The Fissure Block is going to delay things for now and give them a little bit more tower damage, but with the Server Wards, they should be able to get pretty crippling damage on this tier 3 tower at the least, although I don't think they'll be able to commit for racks.
Well, this tower is dropping awfully quickly, and they still don't have their Brewmaster. For another 20 seconds, he does not have buyback. You wouldn't be saving for buyback at this stage, but the Rax is taking a lot of damage due to all these Eidolons. The Fade Bolt's going to fly through. Morphling is in the fight as well, but the Raxes are going to be taken in the end. And top 5, wow, 21-minute Raxes off of this lineup. Wouldn't really expect that. They'll all teleport out to safety, and Boreal now facing a crippling disadvantage. They lose the ranged Rax as well.
I did not expect that to happen, to be honest. I didn't think the Server Wards were close enough to attack, but at least half of them were, and bigger were the Eidolon damage. I kind of underestimated that, and with the Forge Spirits, they had enough to take the barracks. I thought that they'd have a little bit better counter push than that, but in the end, Brewmaster is extremely pivotal in these fights, and he died without using his ultimate and with no buyback. It's just a barracks. There's not much more to say about that, and for now, top 5 are going to be very happy with how this game has ended up panning out. Although the kill score is incredibly close, map control is going to become increasingly difficult for Boreal to maintain, and if nothing else, the economic damage of having this Rax down early is really going to hurt whoever's farming there. Probably the Nature's Prophet is going to be stuck in this lane for the majority of the time, and well, with those Mega Creeps, they're going to be harder to kill, and they're going to give him less bounty, so it's huge to get a Rax this early.
Yeah, fortunately for Boreal, they have 2 heroes that can very well. They can function very well, even though they are a Rax down in the Morphling and the Nature's Prophet. With the Replicate and the Teleportation, they could go and deal with that, but now they're going to get Initiation onto Plasma Sun as well as the Tidehunter. There's the Silence and Annihilation of the Shadow Shaman. Ravage not up for the Tidehunter, and he looks like he won't get enough time to blink out of there as Jolly Joker does blink forward. Gets a 2 kill onto top 5. But can Boreal crack into the top 5 base just as the top 5 cracked into their own? I don't really think they can. The creep wave just not cooperating for them, and they will have to eventually back down to the bottom lane. So they get 2 kills, but I don't think they can get much else.
Yeah, I don't know. They committed the Echo Sum to that, but Tidehunter instantly cracking that off, which is unfortunate for them. But in the end, they were still able to secure those 2. But with the lane equilibrium, as you said, it's just not in the greatest position. Top as well as mid were already pushed out, and well, they have a zip up on top. They're going to find out the Nature's Prophet. Sunstrike is going to be off the mark, it seems. I think he pulled him out of that. Jolly Joker looking for the escape here as Fly. The zips just aren't there. He's bottling up looking for a long one, but Jolly Joker, I think he's out of there scot-free. Not sure if he can chase him down. The blink I don't know, they might be able to make a turn here. Storm Spirit going to be just fine, however.
That's night vision coming to bite them, and just now day breaks. That was the perfect time for Storm Spirit to pull a stunt like that. If it was literally 10 seconds earlier, or 10 seconds later rather, the Earthshaker would have had day vision and he would have gotten the fissure, and Storm Spirit most likely would have died. But, you know, night vision is sometimes all you need in order to survive, and Storm Spirit getting a very lucky break there.
Well, if it was day, he probably would have gotten the kill in the Nature's Prophet to begin with, so I'm not sure he would have been in that situation. But yeah, it's a change that a lot of people underestimate. It's very significant, that extra vision, and it can change games, honestly.
Yeah, now, well, everyone from Boreal, they have to worry about this bottom lane, and top 5, they're going to take this as a giant green light to go down what looks like the middle lane. There's a free tier 2 tower standing there, and they really, really want it, though Fly is really far away, as is, well, Fly's father, I guess, the Shadow Shaman. They will send the Eidolons and the Forge Spirits to it, and they're looking for initiation on someone with this Ravage. Tidehunter is well on his way to his Refresher Orb, so double Ravage incoming, but they're grouping up on mid, and they want this tier 2 tower. I think they should get it without too much of a fight.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's really much the Boreal can do. They might drop a Fade Bolt as well as a Fissure, but I think that's about all they'll commit to this. I don't know. They might make a jump in with the Brewmaster, but I think that would be a fatal mistake, especially if top 5 are not forced into using their big team fight ultimates. With Brewmaster ulti down, there's very little stopping them from going high ground again.
But top 5, they're going to make that fight happen. They need the Storm Spirit. And Storm Spirit, well, if he has other ideas in mind, he has a BKB, so he's perfectly ready to fight, but ideally you would want something to like help you do a little bit of damage. Usually that item is the Orchid. Also shut down the Brewmaster for a little while longer, and hell, even shut down the Morphling if he doesn't have Manta Style up. But right now, Storm Spirit is just pure survivability, and he wants to get a damage item up. And with the Rax advantage that they have now, they have quite a bit of time before they actually need to go for a second set of Raxes. So they could play it patiently for a good long while.
Yeah, for now, I think they're just going to wait out for the Tidehunter to get his Refresher up, and then Storm Spirit to get something. I'd like to see maybe a Scythe coming out from him. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Anything that costs a lot and helps you kill things, really, whether it's Scythe, whether it's Orchid, whether it's just a pure damage item, that would be kind of sweet to see, though the odds of like something like an MKB or a crit coming out are extremely, extremely low. He's going to be hunted down by Jaw as well as Rolo. There's a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker, but it looks like Fly will jump out right into the clutches of Jolly Joker, who will try to freehand a Sprout through the BKB. Won't happen. Now there's a jump forward from the Tidehunter. Has a Ravage on too if he wants to use it, but he's still holding on to it. Fly's my son going to get tagged with an Adaptive Strike to back him off, but I think that would have been an okay time to commit the Ravage.
I think so too. I think sometimes you just gotta go for it. He blinks in mid just to farm up some creeps. Yeah, he's been very reserved with this Ravage usage, and not something I'm a huge fan of seeing. If you can land it on 2 or 3 heroes and secure those kills, I think it's worth going for it.
Yeah, and it seems like with that positioning, the top 5 side would have been more than capable of just collapsing on the Boreal heroes and killing them off one by one. Maybe not killing all of them, but definitely worth going for that risk, as Tidehunter now does have a double Ravage. Still not, it's not a level 3 skill just yet, but that'll come soon enough. So double Ravage is available. Their Enigma is going for a BKB. I think they're just about ready to fight. However, Storm Spirit, if he keeps getting picked like that, then he's, well, he didn't die, but he's losing BKB charges, and that's really important when you're dealing with the likes of Earthshaker and Morphling and Rubik.
As well as with such an early BKB. It's already down to 8 seconds, and it's not going to get any better for him. Yeah, it's going to be important. Currently, it's not a big issue. The next 2 are going to be probably long enough in order to get a proper initiation off. But anything after that, once it drops down to like 6 or 5, it's going to be difficult. As they go into the Roshan pit to start things off, they have the Serpent Wards as well as the Enigma Eidolons if they even need them. Currently, the Roshan is just falling quickly enough, and they'll drop the Serpent Wards at the end of the day, but yeah, probably going to be it. They do convert one of the 4 spirits, probably would like to see him convert the other one, but in the end it doesn't really matter, as Roshan's going to fall one way or another. There's very little Boreal can do to fight inside this pit. With the Enigma hiding outside of it, as well as Tidehunter on the right side, fighting into double Ravage as well as Black Hole in the pit is almost suicidal, as Storm Spirit picks himself up in Aegis.
I think Boreal actually would have thought to try to go for that, though it didn't seem like they actually did have perfect vision there, so they just didn't want to go for it. And now they know that the Tidehunter does in fact have that double Ravage, so that could have caught them potentially by surprise, and what an unpleasant surprise it would have been. Now with that Aegis, it looks like they're going to group up and try to take this tier 2 tower down that they were denied a little while ago. Enigma is lagging behind, as is the Shadow Shaman. But they're just going to apply just a mild amount of pressure here and look for a pickoff. They want to use one of their Ravages at the very least. However, Monkeys Forever is pretty much got to be caught in that. Monkeys Forever and Rubik, ideally, would be the Ravage targets for top 5.
Yeah, for now they're going to push out mid, and it's a Shiva's Guard coming out from Fly as they drop the Ravage only onto Monkeys. Well, the second Ravage is just going to be shot out. It's cancelled because they will be going onto Monkeys, and now that the Ravage is going to come out, it's going to land on all three as Rolo gets caught out and blown to shreds. The Big Bad Bird is the only one surviving on that side of the fight as BKB forced up by Jolly Joker, trying to pick stuff up. A 4-man Echo Slam comes out from the Earthshaker. They're going to be able to get the Aegis almost instantly. The follow-up isn't really there as he is going to be stopped in his tracks. Storm Spirit with his Aegis should be able to zip out of there, but first, will get a kill on the Earthshaker. Now Big Bad Bird's going to be pulled back in, and well, in the end, after a beautiful Echo Slam, it just doesn't matter because the Aegis, and they weren't able to follow up on the other three heroes.
Top 5 spend so much in order to kill off that Brewmaster, but at the end of the day, it turns out to be worth it. The Brewmaster got hit with 2 Ravages, plus a 1-man luxury black hole for him. Bottom lane is in full breach, and mid lane is soon to be in full breach as well, as Nature's Prophet can't really do anything to stop this. He could try to teleport top, and we'll try to split push them out and get something, but this is looking like it's going to be 2 sets of Raxes down. Rubik also stole Black Hole, and it was really close for him to get it out, but unfortunately he just barely died before he managed to cast that one. So no big swing there from the Rubik, and double Ravages really setting up that fight for top 5 as they do take the melee Raxes. Might even get these range Raxes with the units that they left behind, but a win is a win. The Brewmaster is going to jump in on towards Fly. Does he have enough damage to kill him off? Ball lightning out, and yeah, it's a big leap out. Brewmaster is still giving chase. Jolly Joker is now teleported in. Top 5 is not going to lose their Storm Spirit. They might lose someone else. No, they're just blinking away. The Brewmaster finally gets his ultimate off, but literally does nothing with it.
Yeah. I don't know, in the end, Storm Spirit, it was kind of awkward to see him zip so many times, but in the end it didn't matter. Fly was just fine. I thought he might have been able to get the kill from on the Storm Spirit had he gotten a crit onto the fire aspect, but it didn't happen, so in the end, Monkeys comes away with this ultimate. It's only a 60-second cooldown, but still, that's 60 seconds that top 5 can wait for their double Ravage and their Black Hole to come back off, and well, once they have the BKB on the Enigma, which is now finished, as well as the double Ravage back again, I don't think there's anything stopping them from going for the third lane.
Yeah, so third lane should happen soon enough. They have the BKB ready on Enigma whenever he wants to fly that one out, and even Flies My Son plus Sevi, they're on the bottom lane looking for anyone they can get their hands on. They had a minor scrape with the Brewmaster, though they were a little bit slow on the Hex. They're going to find the Tidehunter in the end, Boreal. They might finally get a pick off. He does try to force staff his way out of there, but he's going to get sprouted and brought down. It's a much needed kill for Boreal, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. They're going to make a desperation push down mid, but again, they don't have that much pushing power.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what it is. There's no buyback on the Tidehunter, so they won't have double Ravage for this fight. Although Boreal don't know it, they might be able to take one on their advantage, but without Split, it's going to be problematic. I don't know, Split is coming off a cooldown immediately, so this is go time. Let's see if they can make something happen. As Fly pops the Shivas, he's going to get silenced up instantly, as well as sprouted up BKB, as well as zip through the trees. Very short zip. In the end, that's going to be all that was exchanged. A little bit of damage to 2-3, but that's about it. Well, the Invoker on the backlines blows up the Earthshaker with the Deafening Blast Meteor combo, and the Big Bad Bird not looking too good for wear either. Fly's going to be focused down with the clap damage. Might be enough. No, the zip to the high ground way too good for him to get dropped down as whatever's being focused on. The Boulder Toss is going to come through as well, so through on top. Whatever, he's BKB'd, he's going to get the Black Hole in 2 of the aspects as well as the Big Bad Bird. They might be able to focus them down inside the Black Hole instantly. Monkey's Forever brings himself back, but in the end, he's going to be caught inside the Surfboards. He can't do anything. He gets the clap off and does some decent damage to Fly, but in the end, there's nowhere that he can go. 3 heroes down on the side of Boreal, and honestly, that might just be it, as top 5 have their double Ravage still to push up, and without a Brewmaster, I'm not sure they can actually hold.
Big Bad Bird does manage to, at the final hour, replicate his way out of that black hole, or right before the black hole actually gets dropped. So Morphling gets to survive from that one, but they have 4 in defense, but we've seen how well they could defend with only 4 heroes. The defense isn't that strong, and they're facing down double Ravage. They don't have to face down a black hole, and still the top lane tier 2 is up. So Boreal will get a little bit more time to kind of prepare for this upcoming fight, but top 5, they've shown that they could take fights rather easily. And this fight, I mean, this entire game was looking pretty well for Boreal, at least for the first couple of minutes. But then top 5, they just got all their shit together, and now they are in such a commanding lead. Really, I think it comes down to their kind of lucky push on the bottom lane Raxes.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it comes down to. Before that, it was so even as far as gold is concerned, although Boreal, I would say, would be happier with their distribution. In the end, that's what it comes down to. Tidehunter leading the charge into the creeps, and while they're smoking up, potentially looking for a huge Echo Slam coming out from the Earthshaker, and I think he's the one to watch, but they're going to go in with the Ravage anyway. He catches out 2, Refresher Ravage, it's only going to land, oh no, it actually caught out both of them, but in the end, it doesn't actually matter, so they're not able to focus them down, wait for him forward, they might be able to get whatever, and this fight is actually going a lot better for Boreal than I thought it would, but now with Fly jumping into the fray, the Big Bad Bird is going to be pulled back in, there's a Tornado that lands on the Morphling as well, he's not going to be dropped by that with Strength Morph, it's keeping alive for now, they've already lost 2, and the wait for him back, it's going to keep the Big Bad Bird alive. Tidehunter's in the fray, but he's going to get stunned up by the Earthshaker. Not sure if that's actually worth it as they silence up Fly, and Fly's going to be focused down by the Adaptive Strike. They're going to have enough damage to bring him down, and in the end, somehow, Boreal traded 3 for 0, mostly due to the way those Ravages were used.
The Ravages were pretty terrible. Like, they got the Morphling and the Rubik twice, I believe, but the Brewmaster already jumped in and got the split. So what went differently from that fight as compared to the others was that they did not kill off the Brewmaster before the Brewmaster got a split off. That happened in all the previous fights, and Top 5 took convincing fights after that. This particular fight, Tidehunter kind of blinked to switch places with the Brewmaster, so if the Brewmaster was a little bit slower, then he would have gotten caught in the Ravage, but unfortunately for the Tide, that didn't happen. Top 5, they were unable to lock down the Brewmaster quick enough, so they had to deal with those aspects, and that was just too much for them, because at that point, their backline was fully exposed.
Yeah, it pretty much sums it up. Had they caught the Brewmaster there, it would have been huge, but yeah. The Tidehunter Ravagers were okay, they were on 2 targets, and they held them in place, but they didn't have the follow-up because the Brewmaster was on the backlines and wreaking havoc. Yeah, it just wasn't a very clean fight coming out from Top 5, and they ended up getting punished for it, although they did get the ranged barracks in mid. The creeps were able to take that during the fight, but still not a bad fight for Boreal by any means. I'd say they call that a win.
Oh yeah, that's definitely got to be a win for them. Now, Top 5, what they can do is do the exact same thing, except not be too hasty to, pull the trigger. They just have to sit back and wait with their fingers on their Orchids, on their pulls, on their Hexes, on their Silences, and just wait until Brewmaster jumps in. But Fly is going to get caught instantly into the BKB form. He does burn a little bit of mana to get himself out of there. He'll be just fine, but it's again another defensively used BKB charge. It's down to 4 seconds pretty quickly, I would say. The Shadow Shaman, though, gets an Aghanim delivery mid-fight there. So the pushing from Top 5 is going to be pretty intense when they do decide to go for it again. Might be a little bit until they actually go for it, as Roshan should be their next objective. They're probably just going to wait and chill until the Roshan is up.
Yeah, for now, Nature's Prophet also has to complete a Daedalus, and you might get your wish for just a straight-up damage item on Storm. He has a Demon Edge in his inventory. I assume this is going to be an MKB, although Daedalus I would not be entirely opposed to, especially since Big Bad Bird is not picking up the Butterfly.
Big Bad Bird still gunning for that from the Ghost. God damn it, it's been a long day. Ethereal Blade, the Ghost Scepter item, that's of course what I was going to say. So he's looking to put some shotguns into some of the heroes from Top 5, but with the Aghanim pickup from the Shadow Shaman with BKB on the Storm Spirit, there aren't many viable targets for the shotgun, especially since the Morphling is getting it rather late. So all in all, it's not going to be doing that much damage. It still will be bringing someone down pretty low, but you would expect it to 100 to 0 someone, and I don't think that's going to happen this game.
Yeah, and I don't think there's ever going to be a point where you can 100 to 0 somebody. Tidehunter's just cancel casting inside the Roshan pit for now. Just chilling out, waiting for to respawn, being a living ward for now. Not sure if there's anything better on the map that he'd be able to do, but now that I think about it, Fly's more than likely going to get the MKB, so he's not stopped by the Drunken A's coming up from Brewmaster when he doesn't have his BKB on, and even when he does, it's going to be a very decent damage item at the very least. Yeah, for now, we're going to watch Tidehunter pursue his little dance. We might have a pickup up on top, but for now, Fissure by Jaw is going to keep himself safe, and I don't think they're going to go for it. Tornado, not long enough range coming out from the Invoker.
Tidehunter spent so long just Anchor Smash pumping in the Roshan pit, whereas he could have been killing off Ancients. I mean, I don't know. I would rather have more gold and more experience than nothing. Seems like a good, worthwhile exchange of time for benefit, but he will, in the end, not even see the Roshan spawn. This Tidehunter is a disappointment to his family. But now, there we go. They have Serpent Wards available, level 2. I don't even know if they need them at this point, but they will commit them anyway. They have the Gush available as well, and Melissa Roshan should drop pretty quickly. Boreal though I think they can make a defense on paper, they're just too far away.
Yeah, Roshan already at about half, and they can just leave the wards as well as Storm in the pit to do their bidding. As Tidehunter's tanking up with the anchors, excuse me, Kraken Shell. Aegis given the way of Fly, Cheese the way of the Invoker, and that'll be it. We have a completed BKB flying out to the Invoker, and this feels like go time for top 5. I think they can just go down top.
Yep, so it should be all 5 heroes up on top lane for top 5, much as their name would suggest, I guess. But it's time to go up towards top lane, top 5, and maybe even catch a Morphling on his way towards the mid lane. No, they're going to take the route that is a little bit safer for them. So it's going to be a slow push up on top, and this time I would like to see them play it a little bit more patiently, because bottom lane and mid lane are going to be pushing, and though you're going to be dealing with the Nature's Prophet split counter push plus Morphling in order to split out those lanes, you still will have a lot of time, and you have pretty much a disable on everyone to shut down a Brewmaster, with the exception of, I think, the Tidehunter. Yeah, everyone else can stop the Brewmaster from Blink Clap splitting, so just play it safe, play it slow, and have those Raxed lanes do work.
Yeah, so for now, they're going to go down top, and whatever's kind of lagging behind for now, and they're not fully committing. They're pinging out some heroes further down, not sure if they have ward vision or anything. For now, they're going to farm up some neutrals as they wait for their creeps to respawn. There might be a fight outside of their base coming out from Boreal, as Monkeys as well as Jaw are waiting in the wings here. They have an enchant totem prepped and ready. This could be really good for them, or really bad, I'm not sure. Where's the ward vision coming out from them? They don't have it, but they might catch them by surprise. Fly's not really the target you want to go on. With his ultimate as well as the Aegis, you just can't do it. But let's see if they're going to be able to get a successful flank. Some fairly clowny stuff coming out from those two. Smoke is going to be, not popped. Oh my goodness, Fly just hugs the right side, and in the end, not going to find them out.
And Rolo somehow blinks away from the Storm Spirit without popping his smoke. I don't know how he got that read, but it looks like everyone from Boreal, they're going to dodge this smoke, and top 5, they're going to dodge this trap. This is pretty damn hilarious, I would say. Like, that would have been, I want to say, a pretty good fight for Boreal. The element of surprise is not something that you should underestimate, but top 5, they're now in the enemy base. They're just going to drop the Serpent Wards and go for it. This is going to mean it's a little bit harder for them to cancel off a Brewmaster ultimate, as Brewmaster does jump in with the BKB active. They're going to back up all the way up to a top lane. Rolo dropping pretty low, and he should be brought down by the Storm, as he will. That's the only casualty thus far. Serpent Wards have already been deployed. And, well, the Brewmaster still in a split, going to send the Tidehunter up into the air, but he's all alone. Where are his teammates? Seriously, Fly's going to get shotgunned down, but that's only the Aegis. Jolly Joker going to wander himself in, try to put some damage on with that Deadless. Whatever, going to get zoned out pretty hard by Jolly Joker. Jump forward for Monkeys Forever. Going to try to go for this Enigma, but I don't think it's going to happen. The damage of Nature's Prophet is enough to kill him out, and now jump forward from Fly, going to go for Monkeys Forever. He tried to kill off this Enigma, but now he's lassoed up. Buyback from that Nature's Prophet, and where is he going? He isn't going anywhere just yet. The Tidehunter, in the meantime, has used Double Ravage, I believe, purely to zone out, and now a Sunstrike onto the Earthshaker will secure him in the end. It should be a pretty nice push, although Boreal, they do buy back, so top 5, they could very easily back off if they want to right now.
Yeah, I don't know, that was a really weird engagement. They kind of went in the enemy base and then just backed off. I don't know, as they jump in Ethereal Blade, they blow up the Storm Spirit, no BKB is going to save you there, and now they're looking for the Tidehunter with no Ravage. He's going to force half away, they lift up the Invoker and bring it back in. The Echo Slam going to commit it to 2, but the Black Hole catches out 3 of them. Where's the follow-up damage? There's the Meteor, but it's going to be stolen by the Rubik. He catches out 2 on the return, and Jaw's still falling pretty low, but they'll at least be able to get the kill onto the Enigma. Well, Cheese popped by the Invoker as well as Ghostwalk. I think he's going to be just fine. They have Sentry Ward to give them vision, but they don't have another, or do they? Where's the detection? Oh, they have it. And in the end, it is going to be a kill, double kill for Jolly Joker. Cost them a lot of buybacks, and top 5 are going to be repelled for now. I don't know. They're still living.
It's never ever too late to 322, because this Morphling is actually doing a lot more damage than I really would have expected. He has to worry about the entirety of his base since, well, they lost 2 Raxes quite a long time ago, and their tier 4 towers are taking quite the beating, but Morphling is getting some pretty big items. He's now wielding an ultimate orb, so it's going to be, I believe, Eye of Scotty off of this one. If it was going to be a Lincoln Sphere, he would have gotten it a long time ago, I want to say. But either way, this Morphling is going to be absolutely dishing. And if Storm Spirit's not quick on the draw, the fact that he hasn't gone for any substantial health items, he's gone for armor in the Shiva's Guard, plus damage in the Monkey King Bar, means that the shotgun is going to be hitting him really damn hard. So Boreal still have a fighting chance in this game.
I don't know, it's weird to say that against a team that's 2 racks down, but with the Nature's Prophet as well as a Morphling, they can, I don't know, do some pretty good work. And for now, they're going to push out mid lane, and really it's more up to top 5 taking some really questionable engages in the last couple of pushes. For now, we have a TP in from Nature's Prophet, not as, or very little, as well. The Morphling comes through, and everybody just kind of blinks away. Everybody's happy.
Well, they have the ultimate from the Brewmaster, Boreal, so if ever there's a time to go for it, it is right now. Though a 5v5 is imminent, the Tidehunter will have only 1 Ravage up. So, well, actually, by the time it actually clashes, he will have both. So, top 5, I really don't see them losing a fight right now. They are going to stall this out with Invoker, who's one of the best at just stalling out a push with Ice Wall, with EMP, Tornado, all that good stuff. Flies My Son on the front lines is going to shock down the rest of the wave, and well, someone from Boreal has to deal with this bottom side. As the shotgun is out, Flies My Son will get mech'd up, so he will survive that. Luckily for him, the Morphling not doing enough damage to kill off the Shadow Shaman, but he will most of the time kill off a Storm Spirit. Regardless, they're just going to slow push this one. I don't know if this is the best course of action. They have to worry about bottom. Wrath of Nature can only do so much to counter push that.
Yeah, I don't know, I think it's a little ill-timed. Rubik still has Black Hole from the last engagement, but it's coming off a cooldown in 30 seconds. Had they had that available... Oh no, Monkey's gonna go straight in with the split. Boulders up Fly, and now goes straight for the Invoker. Throws him up in the air, and now Flies My Son taking a lot of damage with the Adaptive Strike. Will be enough to bring him down. Invoker just having the time of his life in the Whirlwind, and well, he's going to throw one of his own as Tornado clips onto 2, and the Ravage going to fall up onto 2 as well. The Refresher Ravage lands on nothing. Not sure if that was entirely necessary. As well, it is Deafening Blast stolen by the Rubik. He'll throw it out. Rolo going to be able to blink away. I think so. No, the Zip Zap coming out from Fly. He's going to run into him with the Fisher. Might save Rolo, but no, not gonna happen. So there's a Gem of Drew Sight dropped on the ground, and Boreal in the end lose that fight fairly convincingly. And GG called out by Rolo. I don't think that's a big surprise coming out from them, but I think if they waited a little bit longer, they could have been able to take that. I don't know. In the end, well played by both teams. A very interesting game. It was so close for so long, but in the end, top 5 are going to be able to seal the deal.
And top 5 getting a pretty lucky break, I would say, in that bottom Raxes, and then just after that, they had all the momentum in the world. Double Ravage certainly does help, and even though they don't have any true late game scaling, they had enough just AoE team fight presence in order to seal the deal before the Morphling got too big. So at the end of the day, that's going to be top 5 taking this series 2-0 over Boreal in this best of 2.
Yeah, and well, it's also going to round out all the action here on HeflaTV 2 for the night. That's going to be it from Join Dota League action. And well, if you like the casting you see here, you can follow us on HeflaTV 1 and 2 on the English Twitch channels, as well as on HeflaTV at Twitter and Facebook. Fairly easy to find those as well. VODs will be uploaded either later today or tomorrow onto youtube.com/HeflaMoke. If you like the games and want to share them with your friends or just want to watch them again for pleasure, that's always an option. So for now, that's it for me and Mike Loris, and well, we're going to have some ads as well as some music playing. If you want to stick around, we are going to be in the chat. So thanks for watching. GG to both teams.